The scanner's shriek pierced the morning silence like a dying animal. Zara's eyes snapped open as emergency lights bathed the command bunker in hellish red. Through the reinforced glass, she watched a section of the old financial district collapse into itself. Another building claimed by the acid rain that had been falling for 3 days straight. "Contact!" Vera's voice crackled through static. "Multiple orbital signatures dropping fast! They're here!" Zara rolled from her cot, her enhanced reflexes already reaching for the plasma rifle. The weapon's bio-neural interface sparked to life, syncing with her nervous system as she moved. Through the skeletal remains of Manhattan, alien shapes descended like burning tears against the toxic sky. The command center erupted in controlled chaos. Keth emerged from the communications array, his bioluminescent patches flaring bright blue, the same color they'd glowed the night his daughter died from lung rot. He'd never spoken of it, but Zara knew. They all carried ghosts in their modified hearts. 18 craft confirmed, he reported, his voice steady despite the fear light pulsing under his skin. "They're not heading for the ruins." Zara's blood turned to ice. The seed vaults. Her little brother's face flashed in her mind. Jorik, sleeping in Vault 7's medical bay, his body fighting the latest mutation surge. The genetic material in those vaults wasn't just humanity's future. It was her family's only hope for survival. "All units, Priority Alpha," she broadcast, her voice carrying across their network. "Protect the vaults. Everything else is secondary." The first alien landed in Union Square, its exoskeleton gleaming with adaptive camouflage. Zara watched through thermal imaging as it began sampling the toxic soil, its sensors reading the chemical composition of their poisoned world. "They're cataloging," Vera observed, her fingers dancing across keyboards that sparked and smoked. She'd rewired the entire system using pre-collapse Christmas lights and military surplus, a peculiar genius born from necessity. Looking for something specific. The regeneration bacteria, Zara realized. They want to cleanse the planet. If the aliens could neutralize the bacteria that had adapted to break down the toxins, Earth would become habitable again, for them. Humanity's final advantage would disappear. The ground trembled as more ships touched down. Through the observation deck, Zara watched her people emerge from hiding spots throughout the ruins. They moved like shadows through terrain that would kill any unmodified human within hours. "Commander," Keth's voice carried a note of concern. "They're deploying some kind of atmospheric processor. The toxicity readings are changing." Zara felt it too. A strange lightness in her chest, as if the air was becoming easier to breathe. Her enhanced lungs, designed for survival in poison, began to struggle with the cleaner atmosphere. "They're cleaning the air," she whispered, "turning our world against us." She activated her emergency beacon, sending a coded signal to sleeper cells across the continent. "Activate Protocol Lazarus. All units, converge on the primary harvesting vessel." The alien forces moved with mechanical precision, their energy weapons turning concrete to glass. But they fought like creatures from a clean world, unprepared for the living hell that Earth had become. Zara led the counterattack through the subway tunnels, where pools of acid rain had collected into underground rivers. Her team moved through the toxic maze, using the planet's own hostility as camouflage. When they emerged from a cloud of radioactive vapor, the invaders' sensors failed to track them. "Contact left!" Keth's rifle found its target, the plasma bolt cooking an alien inside its protective suit. His patches flared brilliant white, the color of remembered joy, of his daughter's laughter before the world changed. The battle raged through the ruins of Times Square, now a crystal garden grown from decades of chemical rain. Zara's team used the terrain to their advantage, taking cover behind formations that leaked radiation and scaled walls that would have been lethal to touch. But the aliens were adapting, learning their patterns. Energy bolts began finding their marks. Zara watched 3 of her fighters fall, their enhanced bodies finally reaching their limits. "Commander!" Vera's voice screamed through the comm. "The main harvester! It's heading for Vault 7! Yorick, Zara's little brother, barely 16, his body still changing as his genetic modifications fought to keep him alive. The Vault's medical bay was the only thing keeping him breathing. "All units, new priority," she broadcast. "Protect Vault 7. I don't care what it costs." She broke from cover, sprinting across the crystalline wasteland toward the vault entrance. Behind her, the alien atmospheric processors continued their work, each breath becoming more difficult for her modified lungs. The harvester ship loomed above the vault like a metal mountain, extraction beams carved into the earth, reaching for the genetic repositories below. Zara could see the energy signatures. They were trying to breach the vault's bio-locks. "Vera, can you overload the city's remaining power grid?" she asked, her breathing labored. "I can try, but it'll fry every system we have left." "Do it!" The explosion lit up the toxic sky as Manhattan's final power reserves discharged in a single brilliant flare. The electromagnetic pulse washed over the alien ships, their shields flickering and failing. Zara raised her rifle, targeting the harvester's extraction beam. The plasma bolt struck true, severing the connection just as the vault's outer seal began to crack. The alien forces wavered, their formation breaking as their communication networks failed. But their leader, a creature twice the size of the others, stepped forward, its weapon charging with lethal energy. "You cannot stop what comes," it spoke, its voice transmitted through universal translation. "This world will be cleansed." "This world is already cleansed," Zara replied, her own weapon aimed at the creature's center mass. "Cleansed by poison, by radiation, by everything that should have killed us. We're the antibodies, now." The exchange of fire lasted only seconds. The alien's energy bolt seared through Zara's shoulder, but her plasma round punched through its exoskeleton. The creature collapsed, its life signs fading. Around the battlefield, the remaining alien forces began their retreat. Their ships lifted off, disappearing into the upper atmosphere with a promise of return written in their wake. Zara knelt in the ruins, her breathing apparatus failing, her enhanced physiology pushed beyond its limits. Blood stained her modified skin, but she smiled as she watched the vault's entrance, intact, secure, protecting the future sleeping within. Keth found her there, his patches glowing soft green, the color of hope. The vaults are safe, all 7 are secure. And Yorick? Sleeping, his mutation surge is stabilizing. Through the haze of combat fatigue and atmospheric poisoning, Zara watched the sun set through layers of poison clouds. In the distance, she could see movement, her people emerging from their hiding places, children with glowing eyes and modified lungs learning to read and write and dream. A small green shoot pushed through the crystalline soil near her feet, a plant that shouldn't exist, adapted to thrive in toxicity. Life finding a way. The planet was still dying, but it was their dying world, and they would defend it until the last breath left their enhanced lungs, until the last beat of their modified hearts, until the last thought fled their evolved minds. Earth belonged to humanity now, in all its poisoned, radiated, beautiful horror, and they intended to keep it that way.